Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to do a part 2 of my video Embodying Light, Practical Religion and Spirituality. In that video, I talked about embodying light as virtue qualities that we anchor and that we touch other people's lives with. I also gave examples of founders of spiritual traditions, like Shakyamuni Buddha or the Buddha, or Yeshua and Jesus, and how they are anchoring a great degree of light to the plane, which is why their impact on people is so great that they then become the founders of entire religious and spiritual traditions, whether that's what they intended to do or not. And I want to follow up a little bit more on that example because when we encounter spiritual teachers or are ourselves experiencing spiritual openings momentarily or in an abiding way, right? They become part of the fabric of our conscious experience. As Ken Wilber liked to say, that a state becomes a trait. This is a very powerful anchoring of light to the plane. And I want to talk a little bit about this and kind of a tension, actually, that exists in spiritual discourse around what it means to embody light in the form of abiding spiritual realization, and then what it means to embody the light in the form of virtue. Because they are correlated, but they are not causal. They are not the same thing. And we often hear about them as if they were, and come to expect them to be. So, embodying light as spiritual realization. Let's talk about this for a moment. When you are in the presence of a spiritual teacher who has a powerful sat field, right? Like a being field or a field of the realization of ultimate reality. So a powerful sat field, or another way to say that would be a powerful shakti field, right? A powerful field of primordial energy. You know it. You can feel it. You get around them when they're in their teaching mode in particular. And the vibration is quite high. But it's not just high in like, oh man, I feel so good. It's high in like, oh my God, this energy is like dense in a powerful way. It is uncomfortable to sit with this person. As one of my teachers, Craig Holliday, liked to say about sitting with one of his teachers, David, he said, sometimes I would be in that room and I just want to get up and run out. This is what I mean. It can be this powerful, and as it surfaces, trauma, unintegrated material, some scaras, or just density in the system, it comes with like I am sitting in really hot water right now. I would like to get out. Quality. This is light. All right, this is light. It is powerful, it is potent, but let's talk about this for a moment because this is legitimate. Yeah, you want to wake up or take on or embody really any skill or state. Like, you don't just want to wake up, you want to become a successful entrepreneur. Seek out the presence of those people who have already embodied that, who have already realized that. It's not just that they can teach you the skill. It's that you can be in their vibe, right? You can be in their energy field. And there's something that's transmitted there that is non-verbal, but not just as powerful, the most powerful thing to become that you seek to become. But let's bring it back down to the spiritual context, is that so you're sitting with a teacher who has some degree of attainment. Let's say they have attainment at the level of head. So at the level of kind of spacious, aware presence, non-attachment, less activity or non-identification with the activity of the ahankara or the I maker, right? Identification, the process of identification. So they have this attainment at the level of the head, and they're teaching from there. And they're teaching from there. And it's powerful. You can feel yourself opening, you're getting the teaching, it's landing with you as you meditate with them. You can feel this. Okay? They are embodying light to some degree. Yeah? And powerfully transmitting from a particular, let's say, like vector or domain or realm of awakening. Beautiful. That is legitimate. And if you're looking for head awakening, or you're looking for that realm of awakening, you should go to that person. Okay? And then you find out a week later that they've been sleeping with their students in really irresponsible, manipulative ways. Whoa. First of all, like, trigger warning after the fact. Sorry about that. Right? And we get shocked. Boom. Whoa. What just happened? This person is a spiritual teacher. I have felt transmission in their presence. I've benefited from their teachings. And now I'm, right, this mind-bending, heart-breaking, gut-wrenching information has come to light. What do I do with that? Right? Because part of the reason that's so shocking is that usually and often we project onto the teacher that they have some degree of maturity, some degree of embodiment of virtue. And we don't do this for no reason. There's a long history of this in religious and spiritual traditions, that these two things get coupled, embodying light in the form of spiritual realization and being able to transmit that, and embodying light in the form of virtue, right? And being able to embody that and bring that into the world. These two things get coupled as if they were the same thing, and they're not. And it is so, so helpful to recognize that. I'll kind of talk more about the genesis of why that comes to us in that way, why it's so easy for us to project onto teachers. But I just want to note that. I want to note that these are not the same thing. These are not the same thing. We would like them to be the same thing, yeah? So spiritual teachers are human beings and they're on their journeys. And there's a certain amount of just messy human stuff that we expect from people being on their journeys. Yeah, but then there's a whole other degree when people are really acting out their unintegrated wounding or, degrees of narcissism, sociopathy, psychopathy in the space. And we need to be mindful of that and aware of that, right? I think with the Epstein files, Jeffrey Epstein and his relationship with spiritual teacher Deepak Chopra and Jeffrey Martin. This is really up for us right now. It has been for at least a few decades, right? At least over here in the West, as we've been thinking and grappling more with what it means to embody the realization and what we expect from a teacher, what we expect from students, what we expect from spiritual communities and from ourselves and how we operate. But I'm just in this video introducing the distinction. I'm glossing some other things that deserve and will get videos of their own, but just the distinction. There's a difference between embodying light at the level of certain abiding realizations, whether that be at the level of head, heart, and gut, to use Adyashanti's model, but there's also much more than that, and what it means to embody light in the form of virtue. What it means to really integrate our realizations and the lessons of our human lives, what it means to be able to hold degrees of light in our vessels and hold them in a way that we maintain our, not just our dignity, but our integrity. That's another thing that I'll come back around to, the integrity of the subtle body that we generate, not just in ourselves, but the collective subtle body that we generate as spiritual communities. And what it means for that collective subtle body to have integrity, that the lines of transmission are clean and clear, so that the Dharma, so that the teachings can be transmitted as cleanly and as clearly as possible, so people can receive the benefit of the teachings with much less of the hurt or the harm that just comes with being human and engaging in human relationships and human communities. So there you go. There's the part 2 that I wanted to give you. More on many of these topics to come in upcoming videos. And thank you so much for taking the ride with me. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you're interested in more content like this, please subscribe. And if you're interested to learn more about me and my services, you can find the link to my website in the description below. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. You take good care, and I hope to see you next time.